E aí, predictions? Vai ter miragem? Não vai ter? A mouse vai jogar um TRzinho agora. Moleque, vou te dar calma. Vai no Google, vai digitar camisa estampada GG, começa a buscar lá, vai ter cada peça.
Bom dia, BP. Bom dia, Chato. BP, você poderia me ajudar? Eu tenho um casamento na praia Cairo em março e gostaria de uma dica para escolher aquelas camisas com na minha loja, que só você sabe como fazer.
Moleque, vou te dar calma. Vai no Google, vai digitar camisa estampada GG, filho. Começa a buscar lá, vai ver um cada absurdo. Pode ser, tá, pode ser sim, pra quem tá nublado, graças a Deus, perdeu o eco. Ninguém morreu, então, aqui é só Luquinha.
Bom dia, BP partindo para Recife pegar aquela praia mais ligeira.
Obrigado pelo trabalho. O dia é essa. Tá com sol em Recife, pra gente tá nublado, graças a Deus. Perdeu o eco. Ninguém morreu, então, mas aqui é terceiro lugar. Sobe, Luquinhas. Caralho, é mesmo aquele tipo de casa deve ter uma foto de leite com uma queimada. Mas não tem leite aqui. Com a barriga obrigado por isso, curtir pelo segundo trabalho. Tenho sonho de ter filho sim, eu Troia. Só que eu quero ter um filho mais pra frente. Caralho, é mesmo aquele dia que o Casé me deu a cola do leite com açúcar queimado, né? Mas não tem leite aqui, zero. Obrigado. Eu ainda com a barriga carinha. Só pra todo mundo que tá com fome, nem sabe. Não tô cuidando nem de mim, como é que eu vou cuidar do...
Oi, B, agora o pagode fechado. Você sempre aberta notícias. Um excelente início de semana para nós. Que Deus te abençoe.
Vou postar de volta.
Um salve para todos de Lopes.
Obrigado, obrigado, zero ponto, obrigado, viu? Obrigado pelo carinho. Salve para todo mundo que tá no home office. Não tô cuidando nem de mim, como é que eu vou cuidar do... Já tá 4 horas, né? Agora melhorou um pouco. Agora vai se lascar, porque é um garoto, ó. Uma vez de cara, tirar a dada. Tira essa dada. Aí fica 1 de 10. Buratinho, né? Buratinho, maluco. Tava vazio, agora 7 da noite. Tudo tá de boa, tá? 10 a 2. E agora, olha essa coisa. Se quiser um eco, dá? Dá não. Fazer um leve. Seria um bom live fazer um bom dia pra fazer uma live comigo. Cara, bom dia mesmo dele. Não, mas live comigo eu já falei, vou fazer uma live comigo. Mas não vai ser salve, Zamora, é nóis, moleque. Cara, vai ser uma live na noite. Vai ser uma mochiladinha à tarde, tá ligado? Depois do almoço assim, ó, 1h30.
Corner, you know, that Roland could peek past. S-Tag thought it was safe. It wasn't. Roland ripping his head off in his position, and it'd be impossible for JKS to do more than, you know, just some damage. As it is, we'll give it another try. Coming up, maybe try and get York in the action.
The Hope not going to be given an instant peek on mid though. Molly down to try and stop the early aggression from Fnatic. Instead, it's Banana where they focus the aggression. And what the hell, JKS? All right, flying USPs. Oh, that is nasty. That's just, honestly, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, understatement for that, I would say. I mean, he had an M4 for goodness sake. I mean, sure, I mean, he used up his bullets, but that's me. That's one way to, you know, put a stamp down on what you think, how you think this game should go for you. Yeah, of course, as we've mentioned before, Perplexity have had rough times just in general, haven't they? I mean, it's not just parting with a player yesterday, literally last night, hours ago, and playing with a stand-in today. I mean, it's just overall, they've had instability with their roster, they've had Config's injury, so much stuff has just gone wrong for them, which is just a painful situation. See what's also a painful situation. Made damage to all of Fnatic in that one coming in deep. I mean, we will at least trade one back though, despite the fact that nade slipping down to 23 HP. So that might give us the chance to go to a B with around 40 seconds on the clock.
It's going to be the Hope. There is already a second player rotated in, but with the help of JKS, with the off in the hands of Alu, you can't really do a lot about actually holding the bomb site. The Hope is probably just try and catch one on the crosshair, see if they can somewhat chip away at the health before that bomb goes down. But ideally you want to keep the numbers advantage here from going into that retake. Well, Fnatic are taking their time. Despite getting onto the bomb site, it's taking them a while to even start putting that bomb into place. I was going to say, without fresh smokes now, they could have been in a bit of trouble. Mezzi does at least have his crosshair trained in on construction. Good to drop the low health player. Now leaving it in a 3-on-3, but the health does still slightly favour the CTs. And indeed, Complexity going forward. It's Coldzera again who looks to clean up, getting at least 2 of them. And ensuring then that for Blame F, the trade is there on the swing. You had Alu ready as well from construction. Just too many angles for him to deal with. Even if he got the second kill on the Blame F, Alu likely should have had the trade unless there was some issues with the off accuracy, which I don't think would have been the case. They actually decided to pick up the secondary off. Wasn't quite expecting that. It is viable on Inferno, especially if you're kind of showing early aggression and you like to get one man maybe around Banana side. You can hold that and you still want some off presence on A, for example. But it can be a little bit risky coming into retakes, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see if, Complexity do any, tricks with dropping utility in spawn as well. I mean, we've seen it quite a lot on Inferno since that utility drop update came in. For example, the Orpa, or one of the Orpas in this situation, we dropped their Incendiary and their Nade in the CT spawn, and just keep their flashes to go for a hold. And then, if there was retake utility required toward B, it would be the rifler to come back and collect the smoke again, stuff like that. Re-smoke a nano and retakes if required. But early on, Complexity looking good. Colzera looking on form as well, and that's great to see, of course. It's hard, a bit of a mixed roster for players to perform like they used to. But JKS wants to be flashed into a middle here, but unfortunately whiffs the spray. Alex will take him down. But Colzera is boosted and has a good chance to do more because there's a double hold in play next onto that balcony as well.
Fresh smoke though, and slow things down just for a little while. He's not going to move into it quite yet, and I do believe they're starting to actually kind of get themselves out of the apartments. Don't have anyone really left in it itself. The last player now just dropping out on the balcony. The problem is, Colzera was actually pushing up quite aggressively on short, so I think he probably would have feared that, but it doesn't seem to have affected their rotations. They actually had still pulled Alu over towards the library, only now beginning to go back, obviously realising that no one prepped out long. I guess we were a little bit curious maybe that could have happened, but it's left Esatag alone, and Alu tries to get the spam going. Alex decides he wants to just charge through the CT smoke, and now that's left Esatag in a near impossible position. Even though that player hasn't committed to the CT spawn, Esatag doesn't know that. He's forced to stay in towards construction. He's actually getting spammed up pretty heavily now as the bomb goes down, and I'm somewhat surprised Complexity have moved all the way in as Alex again W's through a smoke. What the hell not?
Oh, okay. I mean, every single wallbang in the world is coming in right now. Unfortunately, Colzera is left in a 1 versus 4. Now he can take down to 56 HP. Despite the HP he can put Mezzy down to, I reckon. That's probably it. I mean, yeah, that is... that's not Alu being Alu. That is just Alex, quite literally, taking matters into his own hands and charging for a smoke. And unfortunately catching the timing on Alu's AWP shot. Obviously, you've got to bolt the AWP again before you shoot. And yeah, Alex took advantage of it. Looked like he wanted to have that planned in his mind from the very beginning. And a pounce would be, quite literally, a second round on the board. Colzera will save the AWP, but that's all he could do in that situation.
Yeah, as you said, it's pretty standard to spam that smoke, but I don't even think Alex was exactly going for that. Maybe he was hoping that's what had happened, but he came out of the smoke so quick after the shot that I think it just kind of worked out for him on the time. And obviously, you would ideally go for the push between the shots, but I don't think he really had time even to plan it out. He was already moving into the smoke, and Alex was just the tiniest bit off him. So it was, in that regard, slightly fortunate, but overall a crazy play from Alex, and then he obviously managed to pretty much confirm the round then with the kill after before construction as well. So it was a good round from Fnatic. It gets them their second on the board, and with that one, they've actually broken down Complexity. There was a little bit of money there that could maybe let them scrape together a buy, but it's not going to be fantastic by any means. So it looks like they probably will just go towards that money. Go in, and Fnatic should go towards 3 rounds, get the next gun round, so then they start getting a little bit of a lead going. So it will obviously mean Complexity need to try and stabilise very quickly here.
Yeah, for sure. And just to let you guys know in chat exactly what's going on in this bracket. There'll be another stream going on right now. There are 4 across the first 4 matches today. And on this corner of the bracket, that's Magic Complexity are on, it's Ent versus FONTE plus Phoenix. And I think quite a lot of people will realise that as we see Ali versus Smith, possibly, but yeah. If Ent win their match and Complexity win their match, then we'll get to see Alu on loan from Ents playing against Ents. And now that would be a remarkable situation to find ourselves in out of nowhere, as it only, as we know, only came about jumping into Complexity last night. So yeah, it's going to be curious to see how this bracket goes. Of course, there are 3 spots, as you said earlier, Dean, and one of those 3 will be decided today at the top portion of the upper bracket. And those 4 teams I just mentioned, they all have a chance to make it through to that main event for IEM Winter, I believe, in December.
Yeah, indeed, as you said, the 3 spots on the line. That's the 3 double elims, so the loser of this game won't be out, but it'll make things significantly harder, rather, with the need for tomorrow to be played out as well. But what an entry already there from Colzera. or rather a hold to kick things off as they were pushing forward. It was perfect timing with the smoke blooming afterwards. And there's absolutely nothing being found for Fnatic right now. Smooya was somehow caught in the open on top of the hay, and he wasn't really able to get too much done. He was greeted from behind with a big hello, and then quickly mowed down. I mean, there was barely even any damage done right there by Fnatic. And that was around there that definitely should have been going their way. Complexity had bought up, obviously, but they didn't have a great buy by any means. But they get away with it incredibly cleanly, and now that's left Fnatic in a bit of an awkward spot where they have enough to buy on a few of the players, sure. Roland and Alex are not quite there, so it's going to force them to call in this pause and have a little bit of a chat about what way they want to approach this round now. It's given Complexity a great opportunity to get a good lead going when just a second ago it seemed like Fnatic were attracting piles up.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? I mean, the economy can bounce around like that, and